right, never mind. You don't have to study. Well, I mean, you study anyway, so we're not going to mandate you. You don't have to turn in your
I'd like
homework.
to thank the following
I
sponsors.
mean, you're going to do your homework anyway, so we know that you're reading. We know you're doing your work. That's why you're... What are we doing? Kyler Murray's homework clause is no longer, because Kyler went out and addressed it yesterday, and this has been the most unnecessary, unorganic, fabricated issue. Probably, I don't know, give me a better one. Good morning to you. Merry Friday. You got Friday on your hands. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Look, issues come up. I tell my staff all the time, there's going to be organic problems. Can we just not create our own problems? Can we just not create our own issues? And stuff's going to come up, and there's always going to be issues, whatever it is you do. But let's not create our own problems. I mean, can you think of a bigger one that was just they created themselves?
Not many, especially when it's a contract extension. You're feeling good about the future.
Right.
You're locked in, franchise quarterback, going to be taking the next steps, and everyone's like, well, he has to study, and it's mandated study time. And for this one, too, it is one you're like, why are you doing this? It's such a bad look. It should just be part of the job. And then you kind of hear the rumblings of Zion Williamson and his future contract and potentially having some weight clauses in it. And you're like, all right, where does it stop?
Well, I mean, that's almost more understandable to me. It is. Zion's got a weight issue that his body's breaking. He had, what has he played? Like a fifth of the games in his first 2 years? Where he made all this money and just got a $260 million extension? Like that one almost makes more sense to me. If you're just waking up this morning and you did not know, the Arizona Cardinals have taken out the homework clause, the you must study clause out of the contract of Kyler Murray. Kyler spoke yesterday at camp and said it's ridiculous and it's embarrassing and it's he wouldn't have gotten to this point if he didn't study and didn't work. And so the Cardinals released a statement last night, quote, after seeing the distraction it created, we removed the referendum from the contract. It was clearly perceived in ways that were never intended. Our confidence in Kyler Murray is as high as it has ever been, and nothing demonstrates our belief in his ability to lead this team more than the commitment reflected in this contract, end quote. The commitment is they gave him $230 million and 100 and something guaranteed. That's their commitment. With all due respect to everybody involved here, and there's just less and less respect due as we continue. What was the intended way to perceive that? That it was clearly perceived. This is, and Kyler did it too, and it's not right. Look, JJ, I jump the media a lot. There's a lot of times I get embarrassed by our profession. I think media stretches and they're looking for stories and they go by the auspices. Well, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to make life miserable. And no, this isn't a media fabricated thing. This was a clause in a contract that we've never seen before. And the connotation is this man doesn't study, and so we had a mandate that he does. There was no other way to look at this. And for Kyler to get upset, I get it. And I told you the other day, if I'm him, I'm pissed. But his agent and him went through that contract, theoretically, and they signed it. This wasn't a media fabrication making something up. This is something that they agreed upon, that to the best of everybody's knowledge is not in anybody else's contract. And A plus B equals C.
Yeah, it was Kyler Murray yesterday when he was speaking out about it. You're right on. No one created this. Like, it was there, just reacting.
They created it.
Well, to your point, the media didn't create it. Like, it was, everyone's reacting like, why is that there? Do you have a studying problem? Do you not like to study? Is there a reason this is in there? Because you agreed to it, and then you can't be all upset that everyone's talking about it when you're a franchise quarterback And you wonder if it's something, too, that his agent, even himself, were just like, whatever, there's my $200+ million deal, $100 million guaranteed, let's go.
Yeah.
And then people start talking about it, and you realize, oh, I can see how this doesn't look good.
Well, it looks horrible. Look, if there was another bizarre clause, and I know this, I'm going to get extreme on this, but it's extreme to prove a point. If there was a clause that says, and he cannot drink more than 4 Coca-Colas a week, or he cannot play video games more than an hour a day, right? I mean, if there was something in there that, and I don't know if that's extreme or not, we would all go, why is that, right? Does he have a problem drinking Coke? Does he drink too much Coke? Does he have a sugar problem? Is he addicted to video games? Like, why is it? That's never been right. It's just the way it is. And I guess some of you are saying, why would you question it? Well, you're questioning it. I mean, you don't have to be media to question if you see something in there. So why was it there? This is honestly, with all due respect, do you have Kyler yesterday, Marie? All right, here's Kyler Murray yesterday, and this is what led to them ripping this clause out of the contract, which ultimately is going to get them where they need to get to, and they'll get past this. But here, it's a little lengthy, but here's Kyler Murray yesterday talking about basically defending himself and his reputation and his past.
I can accomplish everything that I've accomplished in my career and not be a student of the game and not have that passion and not take this serious is almost, it's disrespectful, and it's almost a joke, it's, to me, it's I'm flattered, I'm honestly flattered that y'all think that at my size I can go out there and not prepare for the game and not not take it serious. It's disrespectful, I feel like, to my peers, to all the great athletes and great players that are in this league. This game's too hard. To play the position that I play in this league, it's too hard. And I don't do this often. I don't talk about myself, but today I feel like I have to. And so I'm going to list the accolades. To go 43-0 in high school in Texas. Some are going to say, oh, it's high school. That's cool, but nobody else has done it. Go to college, win the Heisman, get drafted number 1 overall to the NFL, get drafted number 9 overall to MLB. Again, no one's ever done it. Offensive Rookie of the Year, 2-time Pro Bowler, and I'm not 6'7", 230. I don't throw the ball 85 yards. I'm already behind the 8 ball, and I can't afford to take any shortcuts. No pun intended, but those things you can't accomplish if you don't take the game serious, if you don't prepare the right way, and it's like I said, it's laughable. But to the film side of things. There's multiple different ways to watch film. There's many different ways to process the game. There's many different ways quarterbacks learn the game and break the game down. Of course, I watch film by myself. That's a given. That doesn't even need to be said.
All right.
No fees or minimums and no over.
If it wasn't true, I'd be screaming from the rooftop. It wasn't true, and that's basically what he did. He came to work yesterday, met the reporters, stood there, and read off his accolades. And he's not wrong, but the perception is still there. And the kind of, why is that in the contract? And I still don't know why. I don't think we got an answer to that. How did that slip through? Why is it in the contract? But I'm going to tell you, as I listen to that. And I don't know where you are on this, but good for him.
It really feels like something no one thought was going to be that big of a deal. Like, okay, you have to study 4 hours a week, doing that anyway, no big deal. Let's move on. And then the contract comes out. People start talking about that clause. They go, hey, remember that interview? Kyler Murray said he doesn't like film.
That's right.
Well, then he must have a problem.
2 and 2 equals 4. Yeah. And I think you're right. There was an interview that he did where he says, I don't like film study. And I think he said, I don't do a lot of it, or I don't need to. I absorb. I'm paraphrasing. I absorb the game differently. And fine. And I get it. And so he had to come out and address this. And the Cardinals then did the right thing and took that out of there. And we'll move on. But this is the most fabricated crap. How long does this stick with him? Will it always be, if he makes a wrong read in the game and Tony Romo says, see here, Jim, he's got to see the linebacker coming in, and it's an easy read right here, and Kyler just didn't see it. Well, maybe he didn't study on Thursday.
Yes. It's there.
Right?
It's going to be pointed at. Parents are going to use it. It's going to be on social media. Anytime Kyler Murray struggles, it's going to be a comment about the film.
It didn't turn in his homework. Yeah, it didn't turn in his homework. All right, we got a lot to do for you on a Friday. Glad you're with us. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. We got more NFL stuff. A big name signed a big extension. A guy who was a hold-in. That is a term, hold-in. So we'll get you there. A guy who is just 24 years old and was a high pick, who lit up the Lobos in college, actually, here at University Stadium. Retired at 24 years old. So we got a lot of NFL stuff. Liv will kick off today, or tee off today, at Trump's course in New Jersey. There's a lot of noise around it. Donald Trump was there yesterday. Charles Barkley played in the Pro-Am. What they had to say. Baseball's coming towards the trade deadline, so we'll get there. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we'll hear from Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul. They will be at Ice Tips Park. Their statue gets unveiled today in Albuquerque, and the big Breaking Bad weekend continues. 7:30 this morning, Jay Norvell, not Nevada's coach anymore. He's Colorado State's coach. Have a conversation with the Colorado State Rams head football coach. That'll be at 7:30. And then at 9:30 this morning, Richard Neely, who's heading up the Connie Mack World Series. And when you think of all the great annual events in New Mexico, do you think of the Connie Mack World Series? It's been going on in Farmington since 1965. They'll play the finals this weekend. It's been going on up there. And they have had great crowds, great baseball. And we're going to talk to Richard Neely about what it means to the state of New Mexico to have a national annual event in our state. And just make sure it's one of those things you need to know about. Whether or not you need to go or whether or not you need to watch, you should know that that's going on up there. So we'll talk about that coming up at 9:30. We'll take your calls in between, 505-246-0610. Adrian's producing on ProView Networks. You can watch the show on Comcast Channel 26 or on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. A. Marie's producing on the radio side. She will take your call at 505-246-0610. With J.J. Buck, I'm Jeff Symbieta on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
The Sports Animal.
Dan wants to know, does Kyler Murray equal Gato Roberto? It's Kyler Murray Bobcat. Jeffrey Juan Jose Yana Maria. So if Kai makes a bad read and gets blamed for not paying enough attention in practice, is that the same as Bobcat's bad Houston Baptist scout and him focusing on other shows and not this award-winning OD? It's pretty good, right? It's a good analogy.
Callback.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Oh, he put in so much work to that, too.
I know he did. Don't ever tell him.
I don't blame him all that much because a lot of the websites are not updated that early.
Yep, 100%.
Because you're just dependent on SIDs.
Yep. I haven't really looked at main stuff yet because, well, who knows when they're going to update it. No, 100%. Carl wants to know, when do we talk to 7,200 Wyoming? 7,200 feet. Jeff, all I've heard coming from Laradice is Wyoming should be better than 5th in this division, only a length better than Lobo football. Pokes fans are not happy with Craig Bull right now. Craig Bull will be a week from Monday. A week from Monday, not this coming Monday, but a week from Monday will be Craig Bull. 505-246-0610. Jay Norvell today at 7:30. Another player got paid in the National Football League. The term was sit in, correct? I mean, hold in.
So you show up so you don't get fined.
So I'm just here so I don't get fined, but I'm not going out on the field until you pay me. DK Metcalf, Seattle Seahawks stud receiver. 3 years, $72 million extension. 58.2 of that is guaranteed. So the guaranteed total includes a $30 million signing bonus. And now that's the highest ever for a wide receiver. So he had a hold in. What'd you do if someone gave you a $30 million signing bonus? Like you're going to make 50-something million over the next 3 years, guaranteed. And by the way, here's $30 million to some. What do you get out of that? Probably $20 million, 28. I mean, enough to go do whatever you want, right?
Yes.
Does that change your world? You got to be in a good mood, right? Your coffee tastes better in the morning, doesn't it? Your acai.
Buy your lottery tickets today.
Yeah, 1.1 billion.
Yep.
Went to buy it yesterday. The line was long. There was only one dude. I'm thinking.
I bought mine.
So I was thinking of like stopping on the way to Farmington, like maybe in Cuba or a small town.
Ooh,
right?
that's a good idea.
Don't they only go like it's always in a smaller town, right?
Yeah.
And buying them like on the way up there. I've got it all filled out. It's in my car. And I went
that's
in.
a good idea.
Yeah. Should I just stop like somewhere in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my thought process.
And then we'll probably never see you again if you, right?
No, you'll see me.
I'm just kidding. I said that too. I would come in for like 2 weeks.
Help the transition.
I would still come in.
I can't sit here and say I would do everything. I'm working 3 jobs.
I know. You're like, oh man.
I mean, I'm not. I take more vacation. Like Audra's going to Denmark.
Ooh, cool.
And we were at an event last night, and somebody said, "Oh, so I hear you're going to Denmark." No, she is, and she's like, "Yeah, he can't get 2 weeks off."
Yeah, that's a long time.
And it's like, I just,
do.
Yep. And then I looked at Mr. Berry, who was there as well, and he just shook his head at me. But yeah, it's if you won the one. I mean, I can't tell you. I sit here and work. I wouldn't honestly. I mean, why would I work these jobs? You know, this one would be interesting. This one would be maybe, right?
Yes,
because I enjoy it. I enjoy both of them. Well, all 3 of them. But yeah, I wouldn't run myself crazy like this. I'd travel a hell of a lot more. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah. JT, good morning to you. I travel like you if I won 1.1 billion.
What's going on, my friend?
Hey, you're all over the state. So where's the best place to buy a lottery ticket? Like, is it a little town?
You hit the nail. You cracked me up just a minute ago because you said I'm going to stop. You know, I go to Farmington all the time, but I'm going to stop at the smallest, tiniest little gas station that barely sells lottery tickets.
Right.
So I have a real quick story. So yesterday I told you I was in Los Alamos. So there's still a gas station that you pull up in your car, and the bell, you run over a thing, and the bell rings, and the attendant comes out, and he fuels your car for you.
That's old school. So do you tip that guy? What's protocol? I don't even know.
I don't even know. So people were just giving him cash, and he was fueling their car. He just comes out and like back in the old days. So I said, this is a perfect spot for my Mega Millions lottery, and they sell lottery too. So
that's beautiful.
You were just saying. So I'm going to Deming today. So you know what I'm going to find? The same tiny little old-fashioned gas station.
Damn right. All right. Good luck to you.
But hey, I wanted to tell you real quick about Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Does that have to be public knowledge? Why does that have to be public knowledge about a contract? I mean, who leaked that? You know, I would have fired him already. I mean, I'm just like, it's so. I mean, we don't have to know everything.
I always wonder about that too, right? In college, it's a state thing. So you got the Information Act, the Freedom of Information Act, whatever it is, Public Information Act. So if it's a state contract, it's got to be released. JJ, I always wonder that. How do these get released? The details of these contracts. I understand the numbers on it come out, but like a clause like that, how'd that come out?
I'm just wondering, what's going on. But anyway, I'll let you guys have a good Friday and a good weekend.
All right, later. So do you guys even know what that means, like to have a gas attendant? Do you guys, like, you roll over a little thing?
Guy comes out just with his rag. He's like, what do you need?
So back in the day, and I'm going to tell you this is before I drove. I don't ever remember getting full service gas. But I do remember when I was a kid, you could go and there would be the signs, and you know how it says cash or credit now? Well, it would be full service or self-service. And there were these little things you drove over, and as you drove, ding, and the guy would come out. And Oregon, I believe, was the last state that actually still mandated full-service gas. There was a time, I mean, even in the 90s, in Oregon, gas was full service. You'd go through, you couldn't pump your own gas. But ding, and they'd roll through, and the dude he'd fill your gas. You want premium? You want leaded? You want unleaded? Whatever. But I don't even know. Protocol's got to be. I mean, you tip everybody, right? So you'd have to tip that guy, which is fine. I've got no problem with it. What do you tip him?
You still can't pump your own gas in New Jersey.
You still cannot. Okay. So they have full service gas in New Jersey, and then I'm wrong on the Oregon thing. I guess Oregon was the last one on the West Coast. It's I mean, what would you do? You pull in, and you're going to go pump your gas, and you roll over the little ding, and you get out, and the guy's like, "No, sir, you can't do that." Yeah, I can't.
Like, no, sir. I don't want to tip you right now. Gas is $8 a gallon.
How about that? Right?
Sorry.
We're in a little bit of a stall here. What do you want me to do here? Right? It's totally fair. All right, when we come back, Jay Norvell, conversation with Colorado State's coach. Really interesting situation, right? He was successful at Nevada. Went to a bowl game. Well, he didn't go. They did because he left and half his dang team left. In conference to Colorado State. Talk to him about why and how that was and how they're going to be at Colorado State. That's coming up next. I've been telling you for a while about NuMale, how thousands of men benefit from NuMale and their industry-leading testosterone replacement, how these men feel better, feel stronger, perform better. They've taken care of fatigue and depression, even erectile dysfunction. Well, do you know NuMale specializes in hair restoration? That is absolute truth. Hair restoration without side effects. Let me give you the number, 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688. You can go online at NuMale, NuMale.com. So NuMale offers options, platelet-rich plasma hair therapy. It uses your own platelets to stimulate stem cells deep in your hair follicle to stop hair loss and regrow hair. They have a FDA-cleared clinical hair restoration laser, proven to regrow hair. NeoGraft hair transplants, producing natural-looking results in less than a week. No linear scarring. The treatments work for both men and women who want a natural, thicker head of hair without side effects. NuMale's right here in Albuquerque. Give them a call at 505-652-1688, 505-652-1688, or online at NuMale.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, warm scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Colorado State moving on from the Steve Adazio era, which was an absolute disaster. Brand new shiny stadium, all the hype. Colorado State ready to take the next step. They were 3-9 last season, 2-6 in the Mountain West Conference. They got the facilities. Now they finally have a coach, and it was something you don't usually see. A coach taking another job within the same conference. Jay Norvell leaving Nevada to go to Colorado State. And Jay Norvell's had some hype the last few years. He's had a ton of success with the Wolfpack. Looking at him maybe for a potential Power 5 job, but he goes to Colorado State. He's cool, calm, and collected. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. And Jay Norvell, the brand new coach at Colorado State, Jeff Symbieta and myself, JJ Buck, Mountain West Media Days, caught up with the Rams' new head coach.
Colorado State's Jay Norvell is here in Vegas wearing different colors this year. You look good. You look like you're smiling. Congratulations on the new position, going from Nevada to Colorado State. How's the transition been?
Been good. It's people have been amazing. Really like our team. We got a great attitude, and so the transition's been good.
You know, people say football's football, right? You line up wherever it is, but obviously you move for a reason, and we're not going to get into the reasons. But when you go campus to campus, what's the big difference, or is there a big difference?
No, I mean, I think every place has got its own personality and its own history, and I think it's important to learn that. And that's one of the things I've been doing the last few months is traveling around the state, talking to alumni and boosters and fans, and really learning about the history of Colorado State. And so I love the things that I've learned about the history. I love the personality of our fan base, and we're anxious to take the next step now.
What'd you learn as you go?
The Northeast Colorado, the resiliency of the people there, the toughness of the people there, and the pride that they have for the program and how badly they want to win. I mean, I think it's really important for a head coach to understand that, because it's what we get up every morning trying to represent. So that's been great for me. It'll be a learning experience that continues, but we're excited. The fall is getting close.
Colorado State football coach Jay Norvell's with us.
Yeah, what's it like for you going from consistency, the success you were having at Nevada, to now the uncertainty of what you have to do at Colorado State to start building that foundation?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you're in a program, we have certain things that we love to do on offense, defense, and special teams. And what we do is we develop playmakers. And so we've got a lot of work to do in developing new kids and having them understand and being high-level performers. But that's also the fun of it. The challenge is working with those new kids and then teaching them the things that we know and seeing them grow and develop. And so that's the exciting thing. We've done a lot in a few months that we've been there. And we've got a lot of work to do, but we're anxious to get started.
How has it changed that players are immediately eligible for you, that you can bring in some pieces that can compete right away, some guys that know you, know your system, versus the experience of high school kids coming in and having to develop 3-4 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a product of the rules. I mean, I think as coaches we're constantly adjusting to what are the rules and what can we do. And, you want to make sure that you're doing all you can do to help yourself win. And so I think it's obviously a good thing when you can bring in players that know what you want to do and how you do things. And so we do have some of those. Some of those kids played for us last couple of years at Nevada. And, they'll be helpful in the transition. But we still have a lot of new. I mean, it's basically every starter on offense is brand new. We've got a couple starters on defense. So we're basically, we're starting from scratch and trying to figure out how we can do the things that we really want to do on offense, defense, and special teams.
You say starting from scratch, and you've got a fan base that's been itching, right? They built a new stadium a few years ago. They got really high expectations in there. Realistically, what's the time frame to be competitive for a championship in this league? Is it this year?
We're going to be competitive from the start, and where that leads us, I don't know. I'm not going to put a ceiling on what this team can accomplish, and nor am I going to talk them down. I mean, I just think that we have to go out and compete and play every day. We have the highest expectations for what we want to accomplish, and we want to compete for championships. We want to be fighting for games in November to lead us to that championship game, and we want to win our last game, wherever that is in the bowl game. So that's not going to change. And so, but I think we do have really bright kids. They want to do the right thing, and that's going to help us get started.
Jay Norvell's going into his first year as the head coach at Colorado State after a really successful run at Nevada. All the noise around college football, whether it's conference realignment, everything else, the stuff that you can't control, it's got to creep into conversation. How do you just put it aside and do your job? Because I think the kids are thinking about it. I know they're coming to you and asking you about whether it's NIL, whether it's stuff that you can't control, but yet it's there in the atmosphere.
Yeah, I think distractions have always been in football, and they just come in different forms, And so I think you constantly have to talk about things that are important. We got to guard against being distracted, whatever that form that comes in, whether it's NIL or conference realignment or transfer portal or any of the factors that we have to deal with. We've always had them. It's just a matter of focusing on the things that are important and to have a common understanding as a team. What do we want to accomplish? And so those are the things that really haven't changed, over the years. The factors just change. So we'll go about that. We'll talk about it. We'll be honest and realistic about it. At the end of the day, it's about being prepared to handle adversity. And if we do a good job of that, we'll be able to ride through it.
What is it about the Mountain West that, for yourself, you've been successful, now you stay in the conference, that you see not just for yourself but the players, a high ceiling, that you can be successful here, they can be successful in the Mountain West?
Yeah, I love this conference. I feel very fortunate to have been a head coach in this conference for 5 years. It's given me an opportunity to grow and compete against excellent coaches and play outstanding non-conference opponents. And so I think we have something very special. I don't think our conference gets the credit it deserves for the talent that we have and the quality of coaching we have. And so it's exciting to compete in this league because you're going to see really elite people every week. And so just really excited about having an opportunity with a new group of kids to compete in this league again.
And for yourself, when you have student athletes that have success, the players you had in Nevada that went to the next level, even at Colorado State, like someone you didn't coach, but a Trey McBride just getting drafted, how does that filter into the culture? And then also when you tell kids about what they can do at Colorado State?
Oh, they're great examples. We use them all. And, you know, I was really fortunate to be around Trey for a couple months and went down and watched him in the Senior Bowl and practice, and just really appreciate him as a competitor. And he leaves a great legacy for kids that have followed him and watched him and played with him. And you know, we've got a great history of having really talented players at CSU, and he's certainly one of them. And so he'll help inspire a lot of guys that come behind him.
Just a few more minutes with Jay Norvell, the Colorado State head football coach. All right, you open up in Michigan in the big house. I mean, you might as well jump in. How's your football team? I know you've only been really with them on through spring practice and what you've seen in drills. What kind of football team do you have?
You know, it's going to be interesting. I just think in this day and age, with the amount of roster changes that teams have, we have 59 new players on our roster.
And a new coaching staff.
Yeah, and so there's so much change, it's hard to gauge it. But I like their attitude. I like the way they listen. You know, and we're preparing them. We're preparing them for the storm. And you know, the football season's about how you handle adversity. And you know, we're preparing them for that. It's going to be hard to tell how they're going to handle it until we start playing ball games. But so far, they've done a really good job on the most part, handling the things that they've been asked to do. You know, developing those playmakers and being able to hang your hat on kids when the game's on the line. You know, that's why we practice and play. So
I'm going to use a word that I think is overused this week, but I'm going to ask you, what does it mean? Culture, right? Because you're a new coach and you're coming into a situation where there wasn't a bunch of success over the last few years. What does culture mean, and how do you establish whatever it is that you're trying to get in there?
I mean, that's a
hear it all the time.
That's a question. I mean, to me, you're talking to a lifetime coach, a lifetime football person. This is my life. This is not just a game we play. And so we have certain things we believe in. You know, culture is a common understanding between two people of how we're going to function and operate. And that's really it. And so, you know, these things are important to us. We believe in how we function and operate. And getting the team to understand and believe in those same things is the challenge. It's what everybody's trying to do. And when a team does that, it's a special thing. It's really, you can see it in how they walk and how they talk and how they play. And so we've made a lot of progress in a short amount of time, and we're excited to get competing.
Jay, always appreciate it. Congratulations on the move. Best of luck this season. Getting started at the big house we'll be watching. We'll see you in Albuquerque Thanksgiving weekend, I think, to wrap up the season.
That's right. Great. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Well, we have an accident. This is westbound 40 at
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
That coach will turn it around. Will he turn it around this year? Will it take a little while? But that coach will turn that place around, I firmly believe. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. You disagree with that?
No, I was stunned that the move for Jay Norvell was into a Power 5 program.
And the Washington job was something that I thought would be really right up his alley. Some of the Texas jobs, yeah, I totally agree with you. He is well respected, well spoken, just everything. I mean, and his results are good. So it's opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, A. Marie is producing on the radio side, and Adrian on TV. We're going to hear from Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Breaking Bad, it's their weekend now. I thought you were just going to play it the whole time. I just didn't know what you were doing. It's their weekend. They get their statue, right? Does your show start this weekend, your new show?
No, next week.
Next week. A-Marie, name 3 players.
And name 3 wagers.
And name 3 wagers. So just name your day.
Name your day.
So it's Saturday. If Saturday's your day, it's name 3 players. 11 o'clock. Name 3 wagers on Sunday.
9 o'clock.
Help you. So when you run a wagering show.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay. But do you feel a responsibility?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going to.
Yeah. No, it's good.
I don't right now, but I know it's going to catch up with me.
Like you kind of got to have a pretty good track record, right? You've got to be above 50%.
Talk about it.
What's that?
You don't address your track record
unless you're winning.
Even so.
Oh,
really?
Most gambling shows don't.
You just go. You look at futures, you look at the lines, you just go.
So you just give people info?
Yeah.
Do you lean them one way or another? Do you suggest one thing?
Yeah.
Okay, and then they go against you and they win money.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But you're a big parlay player, right?
Oh, yeah, because they're ridiculous. But I'm also going to do other basic bets.
Okay. You're basic better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Look for that. That's hits the sports animal calendar and schedule a week from tomorrow.
And I'm speaking at TED Talk tomorrow if anyone wants to come.
Where's that?
The African American Heritage Center
Okay,
at 1 p.m.
1 p.m. in the afternoon, because 1 p.m. is the afternoon. 1 a.m. in the morning is redundant. So 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
Yeah, I hope it's not at 1 a.m.
Would also be redundant. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. So you can talk about Jay Norvell if you would like. We were in on Kyler Murray this morning. If you just waking up, you just get into the car, you just wait. What they took his homework clause out? Yes, Kyler Murray no longer has to study 4 hours a week. I mean, he will. He'll study way more, and that's how he got here. And it's insulting and it's disrespectful, and he's probably right. But he put it in there. He agreed to it, man. It's one of those. Look, I'm negotiating a contract right now, and I'm going back and forth with the people. It's a New Mexico Bowl deal, and we're going back and forth. I'm just going, look, we're not going to do this. We're basically on one clause, and our company won't do it. You can go back. That's how the contracts are negotiated. You can say no. This clause is a deal breaker. I'm not signing it with this clause in there. Take that out, right?
Yeah.
And this has just become a gong show with him. It really has. DK Metcalf, Seattle Seahawks, 3-year, $72 million extension. And then there was this, Antonio Gandy Golden. Do you remember the name? I know you do. I mean, I say it to you, like, of course you do. But you, Lobo fan, do you remember the name Antonio Gandy Golden? Not just as the Washington Commanders draft pick, but do you remember him? Do you remember the night, and this might have been the final nail, although it wasn't the final nail, on the Bob Davie deal? When Liberty came in here and we warned you how good Liberty was, and Liberty came in and beat the Lobos here, and people lost their mind. Remember that? That was almost that great comeback, too. Antonio Gandy Golden was the guy who went nuts for Liberty that day. He's retiring. 24 years old, going to go back to school, focus on his education. He was a 4th-round pick after spent 2 years in the league. It didn't do much in the league. He had 1 reception and 3 yards. Maybe that's why, he's going back to school.
Yeah, 2019, he had 6 receptions, 144 yards, and a touchdown.
Everybody's going, who is that
Mexico.
guy? I would have told you his numbers.
He had
double
2.
That. I honestly, in my mind, his numbers were double that.
He had, look at the 2 years at Liberty, he went over 1,000 yards each year.
Yeah, he was terrific. That's why he got
very
drafted
interesting
4th.
prospect.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. Whether it's Antonio Gandy Golden, the video that they pound you over the head with, the Vontae Adams and Derek Carr over and over and over when they're at Fresno State and they scored 6 touchdowns on the Lobos. Like, these are the tapes these guys are sending everywhere. Look, I'm great. Wait, who's that secondary?
Is Bob Davie secondaries? the Bob Davie era. That's not fair. Bob Davie era secondaries. Yeah, they give up a lot of points for a while. They give up a lot of points for a while around here. But yeah, 1,300, almost 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns in his last year at Liberty. And they went to their first bowl game that year.
Yep. So, it was the year before.
Right.
So 2018.
Understood.
Where
it was still really good.
He had 11 for 245 and a touchdown here.
Okay, those were the numbers.
Yes.
So that's basically double the numbers you told me. Okay, so that you're reading me the numbers.
2019 was the at Liberty.
Yeah, the game here.
You're correct.
So basically, I was right. So was how much? Well, read those
11 catches, 245 yards, and a touchdown.
All right, so they were basically double the numbers you told me. I'm like, wow, I kind of remember way.
I remember it a lot worse. Yep, it was
11, 245, and 1. I mean, do you remember that? And everybody's going, who is that dude? He was just throw it up, and was he like number 10 or whatever he was? He will go get the ball. And I remember on Monday was. Who was number whatever? It was bonkers because you figured Liberty was going to come in and you figured they were like Maine, sorry, and you were going to roll them. And I remember that week just warning everybody. Hugh Freeze wasn't the coach then, was he? But they were good. They were building. That's when they were the year before they went to the bowl game, or maybe that was their bowl game year. They were building something there. They beat New Mexico State twice.
It was Turner Gill in 2018.
Turner Gill was their coach.
2019 was Hugh Freeze.
All right. So in 2019 was the year that he went bonkers?
18 was.
Okay.
Bonkers.
All I know is
It was only 144 yards and 6 receptions in 19.
it was nuts.
Easy game for him.
I mean, honestly, if you think back in the last bunch of years, an opposing player that came in here, and there have been some numbers put up against Lobo defenses, right? Is there a performance that stands out more than that? I mean, whether it was any of the Fresno State players, any of the Colorado State studs, Michael Gallup, and I mean that performance is the one that you know what was the New Mexico State running back who went bonkers in the first half. Lobos won the game. Was it Larry Rose? When Larry Rose in Larry Rose's senior year, did he remember he had just a crazy first half? But of all the performances of guys coming in to play against the Lobos, like if you're going to say what stands out, that would have been number one on my list. Does something just jump into your mind too?
Larry Rose, he had 99 yards as a senior against the Lobos.
Was it here?
But that was in the entire game.
Was it here?
So let me.
Or was it in Cruces? There was a game. I'm pretty certain it might have been his junior year, but where he went nuts in the first half, and you're like, I think he had 3 touchdowns or something. But anyway, yeah, Frank would know. So Frank, I'm sending out the Frank signal if you're listening. But that Gandy Golden Day was just.
Oh, Jeff, it was his sophomore season.
Okay.
Larry Rose.
Yeah. It was here.
Yes.
All right.
You're right. You're right on. I was just trying to find the game logs so I can back up the numbers. Larry Rose, 21 carries, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Who won the game?
The Lobos.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Lobos came back and won the game, right?
38-29.
Yeah, he had a huge first half. Larry Rose went for 260 on, 21 carries you just
Well,
told
it's
me?
because Terrion Gibson went for 142. Lamar Jordan went for 157.
Yeah. So they split it up. But I remember Larry Rose was going, whoa. He's
First
real.
half.
Yeah, and then the Lobos came back and won the game. 505-246-0610C.
We are here to talk about the best performances against the Lobos.
I remember. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
JJ Bach.
What a good weekend you got coming up. The Breaking Bad stuff going on out at the ballpark. Dos Hombres cocktails available for you. We're going to hear from Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul coming up in this hour. 9:30, we're going to Farmington. Richard Neely, the president of the AABA, the American Amateur Baseball Congress, which is putting on the Connie Mack World Series, which will be nationally televised. The championship game. First time in the history of the Connie Mack World Series. It'll be nationally televised. It'll be on CBS Sportsnet tomorrow night. I've got the privilege. I'm actually really looking forward to it. Been watching the coverage all week. Aaron Rivera, Scott Galletti have been doing a great job on the play-by-play all week, and then I get to go up and I'll be doing the game tomorrow on CBS Sportsnet, so you can watch that on your CBS Sportsnet, wherever the same place you watch a lot of Lobo basketball and football games will be there. But we're going to talk to Richard Neely, who's been with the Connie Mack World Series since 1990. Do you know how long that event has been in Farmington, New Mexico? So that's basically Omaha for Connie Mack, which is 16 to 18-year-old players. You know how long it's been up there annually, except for COVID year?
I don't.
Since 1965, which I believe to be 56 years. And 57 years now. And it is one of the premier events in our state. So I'm looking forward to catching up with him, and we're down to the final few teams, and weather and just getting everything done. And it's a big deal for that community. And to be on national TV is a big deal, so we'll get there. You get Live Golf today. Did you guys catch any, and not that you watched the Pro-Am, not that I don't know that you can, did you catch President Trump, Charles Barkley's conversations, interviews yesterday regarding Live? Either one of you?
I did. I didn't. I just saw highlights of their drives.
Well, it's at the driving range watching them warm up.
Yes.
Yeah, the video they had. Did you catch any of it?
The comments, yes.
All right. To paraphrase, President Trump basically said, well, they've been friends. The Saudis have been friends for a lot of years. Saudis invest in a lot of American businesses, and his response on 9/11 was, well, nobody's gotten to the bottom of it, and they should have, but they're friends of mine, and they do business here. Barkley was kind of all over the place, we don't want to be hypocritical, and we're making up terms like sports washing and blood money, and he says, we all take money from somewhere, and they haven't offered me anything. And basically everybody, they're kind of reading out of the same PR playbook, and everybody's trying to make it their own, and almost nobody makes sense when they talk. Like Pat Perez was the only one just going, man, they're paying me. I'm making money, right?
He's the only one that is owning it.
Okay, so
that's why you're doing it.
This particular event is, I don't know if it's in the shadow of, but within 30 miles of the site of 9/11. The Saudis are believed by all the research that you and the investigating that you see to have funded. We do know that the majority of the people, the terrorists that day, were Saudi nationals. There's a lot of investigative work that have said the Saudis have funded 9/11. Now, 21 years later, do we feel any differently about the Saudis? Start talking to the families of the victims. Start talking about the survivors, the people who are affected by it day in and day out, the people who are still dying because of all the medical issues. What do you think of what you heard yesterday from Barkley and President?
It's nothing new. You're trying to spin it like, hey, I'm not a bad guy. Just look at everyone else. And Barkley was right. It's a selective outrage about everything. But he's doing the same exact thing with Live Golf. Like, people are selectively upset with whatever it is. If you want to talk about, oh, this bad country and terrorists over here, but, oh, I'm going to watch Live Golf because absolutely. It's like it's Trump having finally an event at his course.
Because the PGA pulled out.
The PGA pulled out.
Yeah.
So he's not going to say anything against it. He's getting money. He needs all the money. Charles Barkley sitting there waiting for a big-time offer is not going to say anything bad.
No, they're all playing nice.
All about the dollars.
They're all everybody's playing nice and speaking up the brand. I found Trump's quote. Quote, I've known these people for a long time. They've been friends of mine for a long time. They've invested in many American companies. They own big percentages of many, many American companies. And frankly, what they're doing for golf is so great. What they're doing for the players is so great. The salaries are going to go way up. That was part of his quote. I don't know. Is what they're doing for golf so great? I'm struggling with that. What they're doing for the players, I'm listening, is great. Are their salaries going way up? Truth. Is what they're doing for golf. This is where I'm struggling getting on board with, well, guys, they're doing great things for golf. What is it they're doing great for golf? You guys, somebody's got to help me with this.
They're doing great things for professional golfers.
Yeah, no, I get that.
That's the comment, not great things for golf.
Well, no, the comment was they're doing...
No, but they're not.
Yeah.
To your point.
Yeah.
They're doing great things for professional golfers to make a lot more money than they were before.
Salaries are going way up. Yeah, I agree with all that. But
they're not changing the game. They're not like doing, maybe they are, but I don't see live golf camps everywhere and junior live golf tour.
And granted, it's early, but yeah, maybe that's their plan. I honestly don't understand that part of it. Well, what they're doing for golf is great. Hello, John. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Excellent. How you doing? What's going on?
I'm all right. It's a nice, cool morning. I love it. Love
nice.
the clouds and love the rain.
Yep.
There's three things that make the world go round, and it's the proper love that people give each other, oxygen, and money. So it's so funny how after some things then go so wrong, it goes so sideways, and people end up getting killed, but yet money can cover a lot of those bad memories and a lot of wounds, and they just don't care where the money comes from. Of course, we all need money. We all want money. I worked for the city for 21 years, and, it's just so weird. Money is the roots of all kinds of evil, that people are just willing to turn their blind eye at stuff that happened. Like what Trump said, they do business, just like you said, Jeff. We do business with them. It's money. And the guys are going there because they're going to get paid. They don't have to work as hard on like they have to on the PGA Tour. So, it's just funny, man. The love of money is evil. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, John. I think the most intriguing thing to me here is when they're asked, what do you say to these families? Right? And you've got two, is it fair to say Barkley and Trump are two of the most high-profile people in our country?
Yes.
I mean, certainly Donald Trump, right?
And Barkley in this setting.
And so they're asked, what do you say to them? What do you say to the people who are out there and they're protesting, that they've got pain and frustration and anger? And I'm looking. There's an organization out there that's protesting, and they put out a press release. It says the event comes in the wake of members of 9/11 Justice sending former President Trump a letter earlier this month expressing the extreme pain, frustration, and anger they feel as a result of his decision to host the Saudi-sponsored league at his club in New Jersey in the shadows of Ground Zero. And so Charles Barkley's response was, I have sympathy for the 9/11 families. It's probably the worst day in the history of our company. Our country, end quote. Trump, quote, nobody's gotten to the bottom of 9/11, unfortunately, and they should have, end quote. You're like, well, I mean, come on. Well, they got to the bottom of it. We do know that they were Saudi nationals. We do, there's a lot we do know. The 9/11 Justice Group recently declassified FBI documents, and it did say that Saudi Arabia's role in the attacks was at the government level. Now, the Saudis have denied that, but the FBI, I mean, and this has come out, you know, who do you want to believe? Whose information do you believe? You believe your FBI or do you believe the Saudis? And I know many of you are skeptical, and that's fine. This is touchy, man. And this particular event is going to be more touchy than one in Portland, one in Boston, one in Miami. This is basically it's in New York, it's in New Jersey, but it's in the tri-state area, right? And Anne-Marie, you lived there. There are people every day, and I'm going to guess you're reminded of it when you live in that city. There are people that are still dealing with the effects of it. Obviously, when you lose somebody, you lose a husband, a child, a son, a mother, a father, whatever. You don't ever not deal with that. There are people dealing with the medical effects of the stuff that they inhaled, the ongoing medical. And every time there's a siren or there's a loud bang in that city, people kind of jump and look at that differently.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I have many stories because I spent 13 years there, but even in the, like you said, the Tri-City area, New Jersey, all surrounding areas, from Philly to Connecticut to whatever, everyone commutes in for work too. So the whole area.
And so it's every day.
Affected every day.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you're supposed to feel any differently about this event than maybe a live event in Portland. But this is hosted by the former president, and I guess, and I'm not looking to play politics with you, and this is not a pro.
That's what it is, though.
But I know it is. This is not a pro-Trump, anti-Trump. This is the former president. I guess I expect a little bit more of an answer than they've never gotten to the bottom of 9/11, and they should have. Nobody's gotten to the bottom of 9/11, unfortunately, and they should have. I guess I do expect a little bit more out of a president than that. Is that? I'm not looking to start a storm here, but is that a fair expectation?
Not at all.
The biggest attack on our country and the existence of this country, and I guess I do.
Not when it's the Live Golf Tournament on his golf course. He's not going to say anything other than that.
Yeah, I don't know what, like usually I can craft you an answer. I can say, well, maybe he should say this. I'm not sure what the right thing to say is. Maybe is, you know, what happened 21 years ago, and you know, the Saudis have changed. I don't know, man. I don't know what the answer is. I'm listening to a lot of the golfers. Paul Casey told me the other day that he's been over there and he's seen changes. He knows that it's changed and it's different over there than it was 21 years ago, and that's why he's taking their money. Okay, all right.
No,
I haven't been there. I don't know.
The case to do here for these guys. Pull a Pat Perez.
They're paying me really well.
Paying me really good. Leave it at that. Stop trying to spin everything, because the spin doesn't work.
Let me
it
ask you
makes
this.
it look worse for you.
If you lead with, I'm getting paid really well, and obviously that was an incentive. I do like the format. I do like the increasing competition. You know, with the 10 of the top 50 are coming over here. I do like the format and the schedule, and yeah, I'm getting, you know, the potential to make increased revenue or money or whatever. Yeah, I mean, would that work for you?
And they're going to keep asking you the questions about it. They're going to
understand.
keep asking you the questions where the money's coming from. And
We
you
all
sit-
know where the money's
yeah,
coming
you
from,
sit there and say,
Yeah.
we know where the money's coming from, and it's going to my bank account.
David, stay there. I got to take this break. You're up as soon as we come back. We'll continue this conversation. 8:30, we'll hear from Brian Cranston, Aaron Paul, about them getting their statue, and they're coming back. A really good story about Aaron Paul running around town with Brian Cranston's Emmy. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS Network. Every moment from every game, from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons.
Charles Barkley sticking with the NBA.
Staying with TNT.
Turning away any further overtures to join Live Golf as a broadcast.
All right. You feel differently about that. Was it just because he had a bad round of golf yesterday? He played on the Pro-Am. He did say yesterday he's got to make a decision.
Or the offer was not worth it.
Or his sponsors.
When he comes with his TNT money, his Subway money, his Capital One money.
Yeah.
Live Golf.
Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah.
Missed a couple zeros.
Yeah, he said yesterday he's got to make a decision, and he's heard from his sponsors. So, David, good morning. Thanks for holding.
I'm pretty sure his sponsors were the biggest thing because ultimately they would have had control. That just begs the question because the Live tournament is ultimately kind of wondering if that's going to be sponsor denial for everybody who's sponsoring the PGA. And that kind of raises a couple of reasons I'm calling. One, didn't Tiger Woods make most of his money in Europe and ultimately only play the PGA when he was young and emerging? People say that ultimately when he got good, he played the PGA just to be relevant, I guess, points-wise, but then went to Europe for money, which raises my ultimate point. Didn't the PGA years ago raid and pretty much dismantle the European Tour and ultimately cause it to be the intrusive
Yeah, that part's
issue.
right. Yeah, that part's right. Tiger made the majority of his money outside of golf. He made $121-point-something million playing golf, which is crazy when you think of the $125 million Dustin Johnson got as a signing bonus, right? I mean, that put everything into perspective. Tiger played selective events as he made himself, as a lot of them do, right? He didn't play every event. He played selective events and played the big ones, but he made the majority of his money outside of golf. That's how he made his billion.
And part of his selectivity was ultimately he played the European Tour for cash. He played the local tournament for ultimately
that's right.
major tournaments, and then he played the PGA. Kind of the bigger thing that I'm getting to is the Trump thing. Trump's ultimately his own person. He thinks the world revolves around him. The PGA's denied his tournament on his course, so I think he has a vendetta. But even a bigger picture about 9/11, I was in the military in ultimately Arlington, Virginia, where ultimately a plane hit the Pentagon. Had there ultimately been the other United Flight 93, that was aimed for the Capitol. So this thing, if it was fully planned as it was originally gone, if it fully went up, there were 10 planes that were designed to go throughout the country.
Correct.
The kicker is, the biggest thing, and kind of what I'm getting to, is Norman Schwarzkopf, after this, said there's 3 components to this kind of response: intelligence, military, and law enforcement. And the terrorists knew that Boston Logan Airport was a problem, but so did our agents. And ultimately, ironically, since then, you know what's changed? TSA has replaced these contractors that were doing security at the airport. Our agents knew that there were guns passing through Boston Logan Airport, and they did nothing about it.
Okay. It's interesting, and obviously the world has changed. Everything we do has changed since 9/11. David, appreciate you, and thanks for the call. Have a great weekend. I don't know. The Tiger thing doesn't equate straight to me. The PGA Tour did basically take over and dismantle in the European Tour. Is it the same? It's similar. It's not exact. And look, I think if this was private money, depending on where the private money came from, JJ, if this was a takeover with this kind of money, and it wasn't the Saudi government, if the money wasn't coming from the Saudi government, and I don't know, would you feel better if it was coming from the United Kingdom's government? Would you feel better if it was who's friendly? The Israeli government? Would you feel better if it was coming from like a friendly country government?
There wouldn't be those questions to ask.
So we wouldn't have this issue in regards to then it would just be about breaking up the PGA Tour and the rival tour, right? We wouldn't have it would just be, wow, look what they're doing, look where the money's coming. There's all this money, and oh my goodness, they're going over there for the money, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that's right. I do. And so this will always have this political connotation to it. And the audacity, and it, let's say, and give it to the Saudis, but the Saudis don't seem to care. They're going, yep, this is, we're standing here. They've never admitted anything.
Why would they
But
care?
they're saying, why would they care? We got more money than God, and we keep pulling it out of the ground. And
all these just keep saying yes to joining our tour.
Well, and my thing is, and I told you this earlier, I think golf is just the means to another end. I don't think this ends at golf. I think they're kind of making a model here, and oil with the world going green, and by every indication, in 20, 30 years, there's going to be way less dependence on oil. They're laying the groundwork to be relevant and powerful, and have revenue and be worldwide power when oil isn't the dominant energy source. Does that make sense? Do you think they're just trying to take over the world because they just want to take over golf? Do you think it's all about
looking
golf?
for different avenues?
100%. 100%. Dan, good morning to you. How you living?
Good morning, everyone. How are you today?
Good, Daniel. How's things?
Beautiful rain. I'm just loving the rain, and praise the Lord for the rain. So I just think it's crazy that we have protests at a golf tournament. I mean, it doesn't even sound right. People protesting at a golf tournament.
Why is that crazy?
I don't know. It just seems like golf, such a it's a joyous sport. You wouldn't think of.
They're all joyous. They're all joyous. Every sport's kind of joyous.
I have friends. I have friends from North Brunswick. Okay, and they're there today, this morning.
Yeah.
And I have a friend from Manhattan that's there this morning protesting.
Okay.
And they lost an uncle in 9/11, and that's why my partners from North Brunswick are there, and they feel that it's just a huge
slap in the face.
Yep. To them, to the families of people that lost, family members in that tragedy.
And I can't tell you I would feel differently.
Protesting, but it just seems odd that golf has gone into the political realm. Golf has gone into this realm where we're having to protest where it's being played, why it's being played. We all know
Who's
why.
funding it?
I mean, it's money.
Yes.
It's all money.
Yes.
Trump needs money to keep his golf course going. And ultimately, I mean, I despise the guy, but he's a businessman. And he's trying to make his money to keep his thing going. And he's not the president anymore. You know what I mean? So he's going to do whatever it takes to keep on going. Keep his businesses rolling. No matter how much we hate it. You know what I mean?
All right. No, Dan, thank you. I appreciate you. He'll always be relevant. You know what I was thinking? How would you feel if you lost a kid, a parent, a brother, a sister in 9/11? Would you feel differently? Would you be way more emotional about this than you are? I probably would.
Yes.
I get why those people are there. This didn't go away 21 years later. And is this kind of rubbing it in their face? I see that. I get the emotion. I'm not telling you what's right and wrong, but I would tell you I get the emotion. If I lost my wife, my kid, my brother, I'd be pissed. Ray, stay there. We're going to hit you as soon as we come back at 505-246-0610. We'll also hear from Brian Cranston, Aaron Paul. We'll talk about the Breaking Bad stuff that's going on over the weekend at Isotopes Park and around town. I want to ask you who's watching your home. Hopefully it's the good guys. International Protective Service, they're the good guys. IPS, you see their vehicles all around town. They've watched my home for years. I trust them. I leave town, they go by a couple times a day. If it's garbage day, they'll roll the cans to the curb and back, pick up any packages. They just did that when I was out of town a few weeks ago. Addie had a package dropped off. It was going to sit on the doorstep until somebody took it. So, they did. And they returned it to me when I got home. My brother, during Bowl Week last year, left the garage door open. They sat there at 3 a.m, called us until somebody came down and closed the garage door, and nobody took our stuff. That's what they do. They keep the bad guys away. About $5 a day, you can have private security. Call IPS, see what they can do for you. 505-897-2420. Area code 505-897-2420, or online at ipsglobal.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at Car Crafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All
right, 505-246-0610. Talk and live. We're going to get into some Breaking Bad stuff, but I want to make sure that you call, you get the opportunity. Ray, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How are you guys doing?
Excellent. What's going on?
Hey, I was going to tell you about the Saudis. We buy their oil. That's one thing. And golf wasn't the first thing. They've been having the Saudi Cup in horse racing, and all kinds of horses from the United States are going over there running, and their cup's like $10, $15 million if you win the Saudi Cup.
Yep.
So they've been into other sports things, and they'll probably get into more sports things. But
competition is good, I think, especially for the golf. Hey, and one other thing, too, I'll listen to what you guys have to say, but did you see Mathis last night? He ended up taking second to the three-point shootout for the $33,000. The guy from Ohio beat him.
I didn't see
Let me
that.
hear what you guys say.
Nice. No, thanks, Ray. I did not see that. So, Terry, Anthony Mathis took second. Did you know that? Did you see it?
I didn't see the results.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So the tournament has a 3-point competition, and each regional, one winner comes out, and then they go. It was Dayton for the finals, and got second place. Just missed out.
So he gives $0.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Marie, let's talk some Breaking Bad. What do you say? Statue's going up in Albuquerque today and this weekend out at the ballpark. Saturday, there's going to be the big auction, Breaking Bad memorabilia. Bryan Cranston's going to be there. Aaron Paul's going to be there. They're going to throw out the first pitch. They got. By the way, I mean, I set a standard the other day. Do you realize that? I set a standard on the first pitch. I'm kidding.
I was impressed
that I didn't bounce it. I showed that video to someone.
I didn't think you were gonna bounce it.
I mean, it came in on a decent line, right? It was in the zone. They'll sing the national anthem, so it'll be a big day. They'll have their Dos Hombres mezcal branded cocktail, so it'll be a big day. I got to sit on not sit on. I got to participate. I think it was just me and Jeff Grammer, if I'm not mistaken, a Zoom conversation a few Sundays ago as we lead up to this. And it was actually really good conversation, long, 45 minutes worth of stuff. It was cool. And the story you're going to hear is when Bryan Cranston won an Emmy, season 1, it was only 7 episodes that year. But the show wasn't that big yet, right? It was still kind of in its infancy. And Brian was speaking at UNM, and he had to leave, and the kids still wanted to take pictures. So Aaron Paul took the Emmy down Central and was going through it's actually kind of a cool story about Albuquerque and Breaking Bad and the Emmy walking down Central.
I have such fond memories of just walking down Central with Bryan Cranston's Emmy. You know, he won an Emmy for. Well, he's won many Emmys, but he won an Emmy for the first season of Breaking Bad. You know, you remember it was only 7 episodes, you know, and then he received the Emmy while we were shooting the second season, and he spoke at the University of New Mexico in front of the kids there, in front of the theater department. And so Brian and I went down there. I mean, he spoke and he brought the Emmy, and they all took photos, but Brian had to go to set, but all the kids still wanted to take photos. And then Brian goes, "All right, she's in your hands. Like, you know, take care of her, you know." And so I stood back and let the kids kind of take photos with the Emmy. And I lived near there, so I'm walking down the street now, ABQ holding an Emmy, you know. It just seems just so out of place.
What
and
could
I would
go
go
wrong?
into as many shops as possible. I'd go into like a Starbucks and put the Emmy, Emmy down and order a drink. You know, it's so funny.
It's good stuff. It's actually really
Different time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a few years ago. Just a different time. You walk down now with that Emmy. All right. So now they're in business. Now Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul are in business. The mezcal business. And I asked how. Like how did you get into this business? Why like do you guys just love mezcal? Do you love how did this happen? And here's the story.
No, I mean we are the founders of Dos Hombres. You know, we created it just because we truly love kind of being around each other. We give, as you can tell, but we do that out of love. We do that out of love. We really enjoy each other's company. Brian, really early on in Breaking Bad, became, you know, my mentor. He's one of the closest friends in my life. I mean, he's my son's godfather. And so we wanted to come up with we actually came up with this idea. It was only 3 years post the finale of Breaking Bad. So it was a long time ago. We've been working on it for a long time. We actually just celebrated 3 years being on the market yesterday, but it took us about 3 years to get to market, But we just wanted to find something interesting to do together again. He asked me while we were in New York, we were both working at the time out there, and we were having sushi side by side at a sushi bar. And he asked me, he's like, do you think it's a little too early to share the screen together? And I thought, I think maybe it's a little too soon, post the show. Maybe we could produce a show, produce a play. We were like spitballing ideas back and forth. And I go, well, actually, what do you think about going into a different sort of business? And he said, what sort of business? And I said, well, what do you think about the booze business? And he kind of laughed at me. And I go, no, man, I'm being serious. What do you think about mezcal? And he almost did a spit take because he thought I was joking. He goes, mezcal, did he spear it with the dead worm at the bottom of it? And I go, no, man, what are you talking about? That's not how things are done anymore. And so I sort of re-educated him on the sort of where mezcal is at currently, because he had a completely different opinion on what mezcal was all about, because he had a terrible experience in his younger years.
So then they went down to Mexico and they did their research down to. They told the story about going down there and where it made, where it comes from, how they educated themselves, and in Dos Hombres, and now it's actually selling really well. Southern Glacier Wine and Spirits locally distributes it, and you can get it pretty much anywhere you want. But it's a good story, and how they actually really dig it. But yeah, they told the story about going down there and the plants and the people, and it's really kind of cool. So you get that this weekend. Are you a big Breaking Bad guy? Better Call Saul?
No.
Did you?
Not that I don't like it. I just haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. No,
it's an amazing
It is
show.
amazing, right?
I didn't watch it right away, but and then in New York, tourists would come to my comedy shows and they'd hear from New Mexico, and they would be talking about Breaking Bad.
That's
so
all they knew.
I was like, man, I gotta sit down and watch this show, and it's amazing.
It's all they knew. There's a lot of people. That's all they know about Albuquerque. And in some respects, well, at least it put you on the map. At least they know we're here. But can I tell you? Because there's people who say it was horrible, a bunch of meth, and then people think that's what it is.
Oh my gosh!
No, what it did for the economy here, what it did for the notoriety, the exposure, put you in a lot of respects on some new maps. We were already on the map. Bugs Bunny did that. No, okay, but right. But it was, I don't know if you believe in no PR is bad PR. That those two shows were some of the most successful, critically acclaimed shows in the history of television. I don't think I'm exaggerating, am I?
No. And
they're based here. And as Aaron Paul said, and this is one of those things, I asked him about this, and I know we didn't run this clip, but I asked him, what does he mean by Albuquerque became a character? Because when they came here, when they started, originally, did you know originally the show was supposed to be set in Riverside, California?
I did not know that.
So I learned that during this. Originally, the show was going to be in Riverside, and it was just too expensive, and so this was the second spot. This wasn't initially where it was supposed to be, but it was all right. We can go there. They're inviting, and it makes sense, and all the incentives that were here. And he said that basically, the town it took on its own personality, and it became a character. And I thought it was really cool. All right, 505-246-0610. I'm going to reset for you. I got a bunch of your correspondence, both on the text at 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Coming up at 9:30, we're going to Farmington. The Connie Mack World Series is wrapping up there. It will be nationally televised, the final, for the first time in the history. That event's been there since 1965. It's one of the biggest events in our state. So we'll talk to Richard Neely, who is the president of the American Amateur Baseball Congress and heading up the efforts up there. That's at 9:30. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company. Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it,
we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
AM 610, the sports animal.
Little love for a local kid nationally. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. The Louisville Sports Commission is the group that puts out the Paul Hornung Award. And so the Paul Hornung Award watch list was announced yesterday. The Paul Hornung Award goes to the most versatile player in college football, as decided upon by that committee. Most versatile, JJ. It's in its 13th year of the Paul Hornung Award. And amongst the 52 players in college football who are on that list is New Mexico's sophomore receiver and kick returner Luke Wysong. Kind of cool, huh?
Danny Gonzalez at Mountain West Media Day said the league this kid's going to be. They're very excited about Luke Wysong.
Jordan Bird is